From downtown Scranton, this is Northeast Current. WQPX invites you to join us as we explore public affairs, current events, and arts and culture in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Now let's meet today's guests on Northeast Current. Hi, and welcome to another edition of Northeast Current. I'm your host, Tony Schwartz, and we've got a great show for you today, a very interesting show. My guest today is Traci Rumsey, and she's written a book here, You Don't Have to Like It. It's all about living with bipolar disorder, correct?
Correct.
Now, there's something we've been hearing more and more about on TV and whatnot, bipolar disorder, but it's always, most always from the clinical view. You know, some doctor giving some explanation about what bipolar is. But to best learn about what bipolar is from somebody who suffers from bipolar disorder, and that's where you come in. You do have bipolar disorder, correct?
Correct.
And you've had it for quite some time now.
Yes.
That you know of.
Right.
Okay. And it's really changed your life, taken its toll on your life in many ways, right? And it's all in this book.
Right.
So this book is a perspective through the eyes of someone who actually deals with living with bipolar disorder.
Correct.
Every day. So welcome to the show, Traci.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about when you first realized there's something wrong.
I was maybe in my 4th or 5th year of my teaching career, and I started not to feel well. And I went to my family doctor, and he did every blood test and physical exam he could do, and he said, there's nothing wrong with you. And he said I just needed to relax a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to school, and I am complaining of the same aches and pains, and feeling a little out of touch and stuff. And one of the teachers said to me, maybe you have that fibromyalgia. Because as I said, every ounce of my body hurt. And that's a big indicator of depression. And I went back to my family doctor again, and he diagnosed me with some depression, but it wasn't that acute. He would try to medicate me in his office. So I did that. I went back to him again, and I was like, I'm shaking, I can't get it together. My anxiety levels are out of control. And so he gave me a medication called Xanax for that. And after maybe another year or two, he did recommend that I see a psychiatrist. On my own, I had already started seeing a therapist. Talk therapy is equally as important as medication is in the treatment of bipolar disorder. So not only do you take medications, in conjunction, you go to talk therapy. I've been doing that for the past 13 years.
Okay, so we discovered there's something wrong, but initially it wasn't the bipolar diagnosis.
No.
No. So you found yourself on Xanax, seeing a psychiatrist, and taking these meds, and this was going to just fix everything, right? But it didn't, did it?
No.
Things progressively got worse?
That's correct.
And what got worse?
I started to forget a lot. I was overwhelmed by any little situation where people would say, well, that's really stupid to get upset over that. That was greatly affecting my life. It did start to cut into my career, my family, my children. And I was just living in a fog, and neither myself, my husband, my doctors, we couldn't put our finger on exactly what was triggering me. Stress is a big trigger, and everyone knows that teachers are under a lot of stress to make scores for the state, and so that they're no child left behind. They stay compliant with that. And I noticed from the beginning of my career to the end of my career how much more pressure there is for a teacher today than there was back when I first started. It was kind of fun. It was like a bunch of happy people. I didn't feel that way when my career was ended.
So you weren't feeling right,
No.
depressed, mood swings?
Yes.
From
Yes.
subdued to anger? What kind of mood swings?
I really wasn't the angry type. Maybe I would get agitated, but not really angry. I will admit that I was a self-medicator, and by that I mean I thought if I sat down at my kitchen table and drank a couple beers, I would relax.
Right.
And for a while that worked. But when that disease really takes over, you learn that drinking a couple beers is not a good coping skill. And I'm not sure the percentage. I know it's very, very high that people with bipolar especially are usually what they call dual diagnosed. They have an addiction in order to the bipolar. I do go to an outpatient addiction therapy, and I see my therapist twice a week. I see my psychiatrist every few weeks, and we keep changing the cocktails and which are the medicines you are on, and try to get me to think rationally. I really did not want to live with this disease, and some of my actions were regrettable. And in 13, I'll say 12 years, because in 12 years I had over 22 hospitalizations.
Really?
Yes. I was spending more time in the hospital than I was at home.
And is that for bipolar or other things that were coming on because of the medications from the bipolar, or a little of everything?
It was a whole lot of things, but I just was not living in reality. And they actually didn't know what to do with me.
See now, and because I'm learning here, okay? So when you say you weren't living in reality, is that a product of bipolar, or is that a product of the medication trying to control the bipolar, or is it a little of both?
You're right on. It's both.
It's both. Okay. So the bipolar tends to take you away from reality, and then to help with that, there's the meds, but they really help you withdraw from reality.
Yes.
To a sense, you told me there was one year you don't really remember much about it.
No, I don't remember anything about it.
You don't remember anything about one whole year, other than what you wrote down. Thank God you wrote a journal.
Right.
Or you keep journals, and that particular year you kept a journal, and that was the only way you were pretty much aware of what was going on that whole year.
Yeah, I had some legal trouble, and I went to court not only once but twice, and I have no idea. I had no idea. I didn't know that I had seen a hypnotist so that he could try to find the pinpoint date of where this all started. Um, it, I mean, it's different for everybody, but there are a lot of people that suffer as badly as I may think I had suffered. I was fortunate enough to have my husband and my children by my side through it all. And
family support is crucial.
yes, very. And I think if you have a couple friends you can lean on, that's also of the utmost importance.
This all affected your career to the point where it came to an end, your teaching career?
Yes. It was going to end anyway. They were going to put me on disability retirement, and I had a student that got belligerent, and I pushed him out of the way. So I did get charged with harassment, endangering the welfare of a child,
And this is all brought on by...
yeah, I went into what's called a dissociative episode. That means your body, I'm sorry, your mind completely shuts off. It's kind of a defense mechanism that your mind does. It happens under very stressful situations.
Traci, let me ask you something now here. There's a lot of health coverage out there, a lot of health plans that people have through work or whatever, they're paying for themselves, which covers a great deal of medical expense out there, physical medical expense. But I think I've read or heard somewhere where when it comes to mental health, most health plans aren't the greatest when it comes for that kind of coverage, is it?
That's
Are
correct.
they? Are they? Is it? I'll get it right.
I had the best of the best medical coverage. Eyes, teeth. If I stubbed my toe, I could go to the doctor. When it came to paying for mental health, it lacked off. It didn't allow for us to have our bills automatically paid by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. You'll find that the psychiatrist won't accept your insurance because psychiatrists are very expensive doctors or specialists to see. It may be $150 for 15 minutes, and they don't accept your insurance. Well, fortunately for me, I had a very good job. How about the millions and millions of people that don't have a good job or they're unemployed? They're at the mercy of either one nice doctor or it's something that our government has to really look into. 5.7 million Americans this year will be diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
5.7 million.
That's correct.
And there's 5.7 million who, many of them probably aren't going to have the mental health care that they need simply because there's nothing out there covering it and they don't have that kind of money in their pocket. So as we're running out of time here, what is it that you want the folks at home to really know about bipolar and how to get the help they need? What is your message in a nutshell, Terry?
I would have to say that the better educated everyone is around the bipolar patient, the easier the transitions can be, and to know that they can lead a somewhat normal life. There are limitations, but they vary from individual to individual. And my purpose behind writing the book was just to educate people.